Welcome to Fulton Finance, your source for first-hand information about your tax dollars. I'm Sharon Whitmore, your host and the Deputy Finance Director for Fulton County Government. On today's show, we will break down the 2013 budget. The Fulton County Board of Commissioners approved the fiscal plan at its January recess meeting. The board adopted a general fund budget totaling just over $571,813,000. The plan includes $8.7 million in reductions compared to the 2012 expenditures. The budget also includes continued funding for the Grady Health System, increased funding for the justice system, and human service programs. There is a lot to discuss about this year's budget, including the many programs and services that have been funded. So let's welcome our first guest, the Fulton County CFO, Mr. Patrick O'Connor. Welcome to Fulton Finance. Mr. O'Connor, can you take a few minutes and share with us the big picture challenges that we encountered in developing the 2013 budget?
Yes, I can. The 2013 budget was developed in the context of the last several years. Fulton County, like many other municipal governments and local governments in the country, we have faced a major recession. We have faced a sharp decline in revenues. Fulton County government gets almost 80% of its revenues from property taxes. Property taxes have declined sharply as a result of the decline in property values the last 3 years. Fulton County has taken many proactive measures to control costs, reduce our costs. Fulton County, compared to several years ago, has about 1,000 less employees. We have done everything that is possible on the cost reduction side to avoid any millage rate increases. As we went forward to 2013, there was no funding for any new programs, but we were able to maintain all our current services. We haven't reduced any services whatsoever. But as we move forward to 2014, it will become more and more difficult to sustain this because of such a sharp decline in revenues. So once again, the county management, with the cooperation of the Board of Commissioners, has done an excellent job in cost control, but the revenue reductions that the county has been facing is just overwhelming. So as we move forward, if the revenue picture does not improve, we may have to start looking at some program reductions.
Thank you. Over the last couple of years, the county, notwithstanding the economy and the falling property tax revenue, the county has still ended with a strong fund balance. What does that really mean?
The bottom line is the Finance Department, along with the County Manager's Office, and in conjunction with the Board of Commissioners, the county has a fund balance policy that we maintain a certain level of cash reserves, which in essence means that we can maintain a strong credit rating. By maintaining a strong credit rating, when the county issues bonds, we can go out for lower interest rates. So to make a long story short, the Board of Commissioners has adhered to their fund balance reserve policy. And in Fulton County, we have a AA credit rating with all the three major credit rating agencies. When it comes to issuing long-term debt, we have the highest possible credit rating when it comes to issuing short-term debt. So Fulton County is well respected on Wall Street. They see the stability of the Finance Department. They see the stability that the commissioners respect the advice of the Finance Department. So Fulton County has a very strong credit rating as a result of our fund balance policy.
That's great news. Thank you. The county has several different sources of revenue. You've already mentioned that property tax revenue is the major component of our revenue stream. What are the other sources of revenue available to the county?
The three major sources of revenue to the county, number one is property tax revenue, which is almost 80% of the revenues that come into the county. The other major source is the sales tax. The county receives about $32 or $33 million a year in sales tax revenue, which represents about 6 or 7% of the revenue flow into the county. So between the property tax revenue and the sales tax revenue, that makes up almost 86% of the county's revenues. The balance, the other 13, 14% of the revenues, are miscellaneous fines and fees, etc.
Well, let's flip over for a minute and let's talk about the expenditures for the county. How did the 2013 expenditure budget break down in very broad categories?
Well, in Fulton County, our couple of biggest areas of expenses is the Fulton County Justice System. The Fulton County Justice System, which includes all the courts, the jails, etc., is almost 1/3 of the county budget, is about 33% of the county budget. Another major area is debt service, which is about 10% of the budget. And then the other major categories are senior centers, health centers, libraries, and then also the county contributes between debt service and operations. We pay almost Grady Hospital almost $70 million a year. As we went through the 2013 budget, once again, because of all the revenue constraints I mentioned, basically on the expenditure side in 2013, after reviewing all the department's requests and stuff, we tried to cut several percent here and there. But for all practical purposes, the 2000 budget was a status quo budget.
Okay. Mr. O'Connor, thank you very much for joining us today. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and we hope that we're able to have you back as we continue our program throughout the year.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you. Stay with us. Welcome back to Fulton Finance, your source for first-hand information about your tax dollars. We're talking today about the Fulton County Government 2013 budget. We just heard from the county CFO about how much leaner the budget is this year than in past years. And we heard some about what percent of funds were allocated to the Fulton County Justice System partners. Let's take a closer look. The Board of Commissioners maintain funding for the Fulton County Superior Court at 2012 levels. The District Attorney's Office was allocated an additional $650,000. The system's accountability court programs were increased $250,000, as were the Second Chance Act-related programs. The Public Defender's budget was restored $312,000 in order to help him meet the growing demand for services of his department. Vernon Pitts is the Fulton County Public Defender. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sharon.
We appreciate you taking time today to be with us. If you don't mind, please share with us the general nature and the funding structure of the Public Defender's Office.
Actually, the Public Defender's Office is a state office. It's state funded to a certain level by statute. The Board of Commissioners in 2004 opted into the state system. As a result of that, the state was supposed to provide one attorney per judge, one investigator, as well as 2 support staff for the Public Defender's Office. The rest of the funding for office space, law books, everything else was to be funded by the counties. So we're actually funded at the same level as the District Attorney's Office in terms of what we are provided for from the state. I'm technically a state employee. About 90% of our employees, though, are county employees. We received approximately $1.3 million from the state in 2012. This year, from the county, we will receive about $12,858,000. So there's a wide variety and a large disparity between what we get from the state and what we get from the county.
Originally, in 2013, your office was requested to take a reduction on the county side of your funding structure, which would have significantly impacted your operation. During the final budget approval process, the $312,000 was restored. Can you tell us what that funding will actually provide for your office this year?
Well, the first thing that it will provide, it will give us the funding necessary not to have to furlough our employees. If we had taken the $228,000 budget reduction that was proposed, we would have had to furlough our entire staff 7 days during the course of 2013. As are most of the offices in the criminal justice system and the justice system as a whole, most of our budget is staff and personnel. What we do is very personnel intensive. We have to have attorneys in court to handle various hearings as well as trials. So it would have impacted us greatly in that there would have been times that we would have had to have our attorneys furloughed, our investigators furloughed, as well as our support staff. Actually, the $312,000 offset that cut, and it also gave us one attorney position that had been unfunded in 2012. Right now, we have 9 attorney positions that have been unfunded over the last 3 or 4 years. So we would have been in a really, really difficult situation, especially in light of the fact that we have attorneys who get pregnant, have to go on maternity leave. We have 4 right now. We have people who have military leave as well. So we have to have staff to replace those people because the court hearings keep going on. People keep coming in through to the court system for us to represent.
What percentage of criminal cases tried in Fulton County are represented by a public defender?
Well, we represent approximately 2/3 of all of the felony cases that come into Fulton County. We probably try about 90% of the cases that actually go to trial in Fulton County. So we're a very busy office, to say the least. We represent approximately 10,000 defendants per year. That's in the Superior Court. We also represent approximately 1,200 clients in juvenile court and another 800 in cases where the court is claiming that children are being deprived of certain needs in the juvenile court system as well.
We have just a few minutes left in this segment. How does your size and your caseload compare to other judicial circuits?
Well, we're the largest circuit in the state by far, and we have handled the most cases of any other circuit in the state. Our funding is higher as well. We have a larger attorney staff, but of course, as I said, we have more cases than anybody else. In addition to handling Fulton County cases, because of state budget cuts, we have had to handle what we call inter-circuit appeals, where someone is tried in another circuit, they're convicted, and they're claiming that the attorney was ineffective. We are having to handle, right now we have about 45 of those appeals pending, where we have to go to other counties, other jurisdictions, to do the motion for new trial hearings and do the appeal on those cases. So we've had cases from Muskogee County, where Columbus is, all the way up to the Tennessee border. So in addition to our Fulton County cases that keep us very busy, we have to handle those for the state as well.
That's definitely a little outside of our judicial circuit.
Absolutely.
Your office is an integral and a vital part and component of the justice system. And when things are slow or your operations are impacted, what does that do to the rest of the system?
Well, if we don't have sufficient staff, or if we are overburdened with cases and have a heavy caseload, then it slows down the entire process. By statute, we have to interview our clients within 72 hours of arrest. However, if we have too many cases, that gets delayed. We have hearings set up in the non-complex division. The Superior Court is divided into complex cases, which are crimes against the person, your robberies, aggravated assaults, murders, rapes, those types of cases. And the other cases, which are property crimes, are in our non-complex division. Those cases move very rapidly. The other cases would be slowed down. Everything would slow the system down because we are a constitutionally mandated office. The Sixth Amendment of the Constitution requires that an attorney be appointed. It's ironic that this year it's the 50th anniversary of the Gideon versus Wainwright decision, which said that local governments and states have to provide an attorney to a defendant who's charged with a felony offense.
And we at Fulton County will continue to do everything that we can to make that happen. We appreciate all that you do, keeping the justice system moving forward, and I thank you very much for joining us and hope that you will come back later in the year and tell us how things are going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sharon.
Up next, the measures the board took to make sure that seniors have hot meals and home repairs. Stay with us. You're watching Fulton Finance, your source for first-hand information about your tax dollars. Today, we've been focusing on the 2013 Fulton County government budget. Because of decreased revenues, the board had to find ways to make major reductions in some areas of its budget. For instance, the board approved a $700,000 reduction of inmate outsourcing and another $500,000 by consolidating two of its communication divisions. By making these and other reductions, the board was able to add funding to critical human service needs. Sarah Hilton joins us now from the Office of Aging. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Glad you could be here. The county, through the Department of Housing and Human Services Aging Program, provides a number of programs and resources for seniors. Can you share with us briefly the type of programs that we offer to seniors?
Sure. Fulton County provides a number of services to help people age at home, and they include things like transportation, in-home services, home-delivered meals, neighborhood senior centers, adult day programs, and case management, just to name a few. And ultimately, the goal of these programs is to keep people in their homes as long as possible, getting the support and services that they need to enjoy a good quality of life, and also to prevent premature institutionalization, which really means is that we want to make sure that they're not going to a long-term care home or a hospital when they don't need to be, and they can be at home and receive the care there.
Great, thank you. New in 2013, the county will begin to offer senior services at the Milton Senior Center. With the additional $295,000 that was provided to the aging program. Are you able to share with us any of the details about this new program?
Yes, I am, and we're happy for the enhancement. And for 2013, we're looking at a partnership between ourselves, our North Fulton Senior Services, as well as the City of Milton to provide senior service programming. And the City of Milton is looking at space, and Fulton County will be providing funding to our nonprofit to provide neighborhood senior center services, which includes, most importantly, a congregate meal. Many of our seniors have limited incomes, and also through our State of Seniors survey, we're found to be skipping meals. So meals is a very important part of one of the services that will be offered, as well as different leisure activities and day trips, and just a place where people can come to receive service as well as fellowship and enjoy the company of their friends.
That's a new service in that area. Any idea how many seniors are eligible to enjoy those services?
The City of Milton, in terms of their overall population, I think is roughly about 5,000 individuals, but it is a city that is growing in terms of their overall number of seniors there, and we are hoping to provide as much service as possible in 2013. It's
great to be able to have a new activity. In the 2013 budget, additional funds were also provided in the sum of $500,000 for home-delivered meals, in-home services, home repairs, and adult daycare. I wanted to kind of take a look at each one of those if we can. On the home-delivered meals, how many home-delivered meals are we currently serving? And what would the additional resources provide?
Well, right now, currently, we're providing services to over 1,000 individuals on a daily basis, and home delivered meals are provided once per day. And Fulton County, we do have a waiting list, so this funding is going to help us address the individuals who are waiting for services and serve an additional 120 people for 2013. And again, home delivered meals, and especially home delivered meals, these are individuals who are mostly homebound, not able to get out to our senior center. As I mentioned, senior centers do provide congregate dining and meals, but this is for individuals who do have more care needs, or at home, and need meal services. So for home delivered meals in 2013, we will hope to address our waiting list and get people the nourishment that they need.
Great. In-home services. What are in-home services?
In-home services are things like personal care, as well as laundry, housekeeping, meal preparation, all of those services that you or I would do on a daily basis and are able to, but a senior may not be able to. So in-home services will provide the support that is needed to keep people in their homes, and as well as making sure that they're safe and getting their daily meals and housekeeping, all of the things that they need to do on a daily basis and may have limitations in doing those things.
And how many seniors do we have that are receiving in-home services now, and do we have a waiting list for that too?
Yes, we do have a waiting list, and again, this funding will help us address the waiting list. And for 2013, with this additional enhancement, we're looking at serving roughly 138 new individuals.
Oh, great. We have a few minutes left in this segment. The home repair program, what is the home repair program, and what will the additional funds be able to provide for in 2013?
And again, all of our programs are meant to support aging at home, and with the home repair program, it provides small home repairs as well as safety modifications to allow an individual to remain in their home and function safely. So for the home repair enhancement, we'll be able to provide about 363 small home repair projects for 2013 in total. And this is definitely a needed service. We have very, very long wait lists, so this is not even going to address all of the individuals who are on the wait list, but we're hoping that it will reduce some of the individuals who are on the wait list, and then looking at more of a collaborative partnership with their nonprofit organizations to address the additional individuals who are still waiting for service.
So the safety repairs and things like that would be like handrails in the bathrooms and ramps and grab bars and things of that nature.
Exactly. Lighting, falls is a huge issue because once an individual has a fall, usually it's a downward spiral, and they'll continue to be more at risk and have a fear of falling, restrict their activity. So we're trying to make sure that their home environment is safe as possible to prevent falls, which is one of the major concerns that we have.
Okay. And the last thing, and we just have a minute left, the adult daycare program. What will we do with the adult daycare program with the additional funds?
Sure. The adult day program serves two functions. It provides programming for the participant as well as respite for the caregiver. So it serves two purposes, and with the additional funding, we're hoping to serve 30 new individuals in 2013 at the 4 adult day programs within Fulton County. These programs, Fulton County provides direct service, and we're hoping to continue to support the participant as well as the caregiver so that they can age at home.
Well, Sarah, thank you very much. We've heard a lot here recently about the graying of Atlanta, and it sounds to me like our Human Services Department through the Office of Aging is doing everything that we can to impact, if that's the right way to phrase it, or lessen the impact of the graying of Atlanta. I appreciate you being in with us today, and we'd love to have you back later in the year to hear how we're doing with the programs and what the funding has actually been able to provide for our citizens. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with some final thoughts about the 2013 budget. So come on back. Government finance may not be the most exciting or glamorous topic, but it is important and relative. We want our citizens to understand our process and see how we are putting your dollars to work for you. I hope that today's program has provided you with more insight into the 2013 budget. Each quarter, we will report how we are doing, spend a few minutes talking about the big picture, and then focus on a variety of projects and programs so that you can continue to see how we spend your money. Thanks for spending time with us today. We'd love to hear from you if you have suggestions, comments, or questions about the information shared. You can email us at fgtv.feedback@fultoncountyga.gov. Thanks for watching Fulton Finance. I'm Sharon Whitmore, and we'll see you next time.